Yes, sir. The Rap Roundtable is back on deck.
Yo.
Thursday night Raw. It's usually on a Monday, but then we had the holiday on Monday, so we had to push it back.
Let it
Then we
breathe.
had episode 105, so we had to push it back again so we can let 105 breathe. You know what? We know some people are
Facts.
upset with some of our takes from 105, but again, this is not the Rap Agree table. This is the Rap Roundtable. And at
Dig.
times we're gonna disagree. You know what I'm saying? As long as y'all keep it respectful in the comments. You know what I'm saying? That's all we ask. Because
That's
again,
it.
we don't drop these pods for you to agree with us all the time, and sometimes we gonna disagree with y'all comments. You know what I mean? It's all about
Facts.
finding that balance. But it's your boy John Fair alongside Dini the Balance. Happy
Yo.
football day. We're gonna try to keep this quick. Consider this like a rap pregame show before the Chiefs and the Ravens get to it on Thursday night on NBC. You know what I mean? Dini, what's the word, man?
Chilling, man, like a villain off a great weekend, man. Spent it with the family.
Mm,
Went to the parade with the fam. Oh my Lord.
good
With a
vibes.
T on the end, bro. Lord.
Mm.
Oh. I thought the DR parade was the one that had it, but I
Oh, well,
stand I stand corrected. I just must have been living in the moment at the time.
of
You know,
course.
the empanadas were flowing,
Mm-hmm.
Brugal was everywhere. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but oh my god, man! Shout out to the Guyanese homie that you remember them little joints you gave me. We went to Pilly's baby shower. We had the whole little mini patty, the Guyanese beef
Oh,
patties, bro.
yeah, them joints go crazy.
Different,
Mm.
immaculate vibes, man.
You can't
Beautiful
go wrong. You get
vibes.
that, the pine tarts, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my
And you blow
God.
money.
They said the nutcrackers outside, the rum punches. It was shout out to everybody on 3 million on the parkway.
That's
You feel
crazy.
me?
That's
Great.
crazy, bro.
RIP to the people that, some people got shot,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sad, but
Speaking of RIPs, though, RIP to Fat
yeah.
Man Scoop.
RIP
RIP to
fat
Rich
man.
Homie Quan. That was the
That's
breaking news during this afternoon. In the midst of everything else going on,
yeah,
we lose
man.
one of these young guys who in the like I'll say the early 2012, 2013 era, running with Rich Gang and all of them, they created a lot of great moments in rap,
He
great
did.
songs. Rich Homie's one of my favorites from that era. I ain't gonna lie, I love me some Rich Homie Quan.
Rich Gang was a vibe. It was a whole vibe. Shout out to Thugger, man.
That's a fact, and it's like I'm disappointed because I always wondered what happened. I think we talked about it on the
If
pod,
they
even like
click back up, yeah,
right, like what
man.
happened, like what was the politics behind Quan kind of falling off, and he tried to make a comeback. I feel like sometime was it 2022 or 2023, like he tried to come
Yeah.
back on the scene. He was doing some pod interviews, but he just never found it back. And I heard, I'm not confirming, I'm just saying I heard that there was some things happening in the streets of Atlanta that got kind of political, and it,
Oh,
it impacted his impact on the industry as far as music goes.
yeah.
And there was some hope that maybe he could get that right, whenever Thug came home. But beyond that, rest in peace to Rich Homie, because I wonder, it got me to thinking when I saw that he passed, Dini, that like, was he going through it because his career didn't go where it was supposed to go? Was he struggling with drugs because things didn't go the way he hoped? Was he leaning on that as a crutch? It was just tough to see that. But like, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Rich Homie Quan, man?
I was always wondering that. I was always wondering why couldn't he just like make a phone call and just link back with Thug? Like, was there like a ego thing where if I'm going like a grovelly thing? I don't think it would have been like that. People genuinely like when them two guys get together, even like the oligarchs. You know what I'm saying? Who don't really like the that
Right.
type of shit. Couldn't front. This shit was a sonic. It was a dope vibe to listen to. And I think a lot of people came around, and that's when that style of music started really taking off for those cats. You know what I'm saying? It was a whole movement. I'm really saddened by this, man. I always felt in my heart one day them two would make something happen again and revitalize. I feel like they could have revitalized the energy of two niggas collaborating. That I feel like a lot of people when they try to get back together, they can't rekindle. I feel like they would have been able to do that.
Right. And then drugs, man. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, man.
apparently, it was a bad pill with the posters on the socials. Like, listen, man. Like, y'all got to be careful out here if y'all got vices and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Be as careful as you can be because you just never know when you're gonna have that one situation where you copy from somebody and it turned out to be some fuck shit and you lose your life. Stay with the safe stuff. Smoke a little weed.
Facts.
You know what I
Even
mean?
that.
Drink a little alcohol, but like I hate that for the Rich Homie Quan fans, the Rich Homie Quan family. I hate this
Yeah.
because it's so sudden. The friends, you see people
Young,
on
bro.
socials really like kind of messed up behind that. You never want to see anybody lose their life, especially a person who has so much potential like homie. That guy was good. Like again,
34 is
I
young,
you
bro.
mentioned before The people who couldn't get with Young Thug. I was one of the old guard at first. When
Same.
Rich Gang popped off, I was homie all the way.
I
I
came
like I
around.
like the melodic style with the rapping. I was fucking with homie. You know what I'm saying? Then he had bangers. He had like joints that really
Yeah.
went crazy. So it's like, yo, I really feel bad, man, because it's like, potting aside and having our little banters with the fans. In the end, I want everybody to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I meet you, you my friend, constituent, contemporary. The goal is to be great. You get however many years you have on this planet. You want to maximize your time and do some great shit while you're here. And for him to not have that and then lose it this way, I feel terrible, bro, because
To
it
pi-
just puts things in a different kind of perspective.
to piggyback off what you said, like, yo, be careful with the weed too, man. Like, if you
Mm,
don't know what you're doing, maybe you shouldn't be the one to buy it. You know what I'm saying? If you can't look at it and tell when it's laced on that, you shouldn't be able to buy it. A pill is completely different because you don't know what's in the contents of a pill. You know what I'm saying? It's literally just a tablet. It can have
right.
God knows what in it. And I just feel like this is the era. This is the pop a pill era. I know a lot of people fucking with the Xannies and
Mhm.
the Perkies calling and all that. I get it. But it's real dangerous shit we fucking with. You remember Bad Boys 2, like 1,020 years ago?
Mhm.
Niggas was dying from the bad ecstasy in the movie. Like, and that shit was a real life thing. Niggas was dying from bad X, MDMA. Like, we gotta do better, y'all. We just need the pills ain't the way. The pills
That's
ain't
a
it.
fact. Then we move over to Fat Man School passing away,
Oh
a
man, hurt my
legend,
heart,
an
bro.
underappreciated legend at that. But nevertheless, he's on stage getting ready to do his set. I mean, again, you don't wish passing on anyone, but his final words being what they were, get ready to be great in his form of DJing.
Yeah,
At least he went out doing what he loved to do. But at the
legendary.
same time, it's just like, damn, we lose that's a lost recipe right there. The DJ, the hype man, the occasional bars. Like that's a tough one for me to lose, man, because it's like Fat Man Scoop is very unique. In an era now where a lot of these young people are a lot of copy and paste, there's not
Mhm.
enough uniqueness. Fat Man Scoop was the embodiment of being unique. So to see him
Stand
to
out,
lose
bro.
him is it's a difficult loss for the culture, in my opinion, at least.
Not even a rapper, but just had like iconic songs. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Once you heard that bam, 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 bam,
Yes.
with the Fat Man School, Timberland, like the way that shit used to fuck a party
What
up.
I say? Y'all gotta do, you know what I mean?
Y'all
Vibes.
to, let's go. Like he was you know what I'm saying? He was a whole movement on his own. So shout out to Fat Man. That nigga got me wanting to lose a couple of pounds, man. The big dude
Right.
just taking losses out here.
And it's
R.I.P. the
like,
Fat Man, one of the greats, one of the great orators of the game, one of the great
mhm.
hype men of the game, one of the great just turn up niggas of the game. You will be missed, my brother. A lot of
And
good
it's
stories with that
Get
man.
Light culture. He played a big role in that. His energy.
Huge.
If you know about New York getting light, you know what I'm saying, getting sturdy, like he played a big role in that. His
Big
aesthetic,
dance culture in
you
New
know what I'm
York,
saying?
man.
It's tough, bro. But again, RIP to those legends in their own right. Believe what you want to believe. Rich Homie
Facts.
Quan is an Atlanta legend. Fat Man Scoop is a hip hop legend. You know what I
Facts.
mean? Because I only say I want to be clear when I say Rich Homie Quan is an Atlanta legend because I know some people up top probably wasn't jacking Quan like that. But for damn sure, in Atlanta, Rich Homie
He was
Quan
one
is
of
a
the
legend.
ones.
Matter of fact, in the South, let's not even make it Atlanta. In the South, that man is a legend. You know what I'm
Some type
saying?
of way is a classic record.
Come on now. It's one of my all-time. Yo, Walkthrough is like really one of my all-time favorite songs, bro. Like all time. I used to look extra corny in the car singing along to that song and shit, bro. That was
He
my
got
shit.
joints, bro.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, what happened?
Man,
And I
when I
would never
walk
know,
through.
bro. And that's a part. One day we would have found out everything. Like what happened? Like what caused the fallout?
Yeah,
Why you
man.
guys not like? Why is your career not where we think it should be? What happened? Because every time he got asked about it, he would be kind of coy and watch what he
Yeah.
says.
I think he did a Vlad interview. I remember
Right?
he tried to stay away from it. You know what I'm saying? I needed more of that from him. I
You know
just
what I mean?
that shit really fucked me up when I seen that shit, bro. Like, damn, 34. Young as hell.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But let's get into this podcast
That's
energy, good
good.
brother. We have, everyone has been like on the rap round table. They wanted to make sure that we talked about it. The homie Mace is going to join us in a minute. No Sin the rap snob. Again, like we told y'all, it's just going to be the three of us for a bit. As Sin takes care of some personal affairs. Again, prayers to Sin and his family.
Shout out
We
to
miss
Sin.
you on the pod, and we look forward to having you back on whenever you're
Miss you,
clear to
bro.
come back on to lock in with the bros. We'll be here for you. But the people have been wanting us to talk about Doechii's project, Alligator Bites Never Heal. Like they've been on
Yes.
this since Monday. Like, talk about the Doechii project. Talk about the Doechii project. Talk about that. We want to hear. So we're here.
Yes,
The people of Gotham have requested it, and we are here right now.
on
Dealing the
deck.
balance. Let's talk about it, man. You hear this project, a young person, a quote TikTok rapper, and in this day and age of TikTok rap, a TikTok rapper with bars and a vibe that usually doesn't break through on TikTok. So,
Mhm.
what were your takeaways from this project?
So this is my real first encounter with Doechii. I was pleasantly surprised and in a very great way. I pressed play, not really knowing what I was going to go into.
Mhm.
People have been raving about the project, but I'm like, you got to give it for yourself. So I pressed play, and I was hit with a combination of vibes, weirdness, quirkiness, bars,
Mhm.
sass, spunks, pause if that needs to be like just she's like so raw, you know what I'm saying? And she's
Right.
just like so out there with her shit. And it's like, yeah, I'm saying she has little things that I like from a lot of artists, but she doesn't have the things I don't like about them. Like, for instance, I hate to throw it under the bus, but Tierra Whack, you know what I'm saying? She can rap, no question. But after a while, it was like, oh, like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that after a while. I feel like she has the ability that Tierra Whack has to capture your ear, but at throughout the entire project, not once did I say, what is this bitch talking about? I wanted to cut it off. The whole
Right.
project, I was like, Shorty is on to something. This is it. The bars were there. A lot of the project felt like she was almost freestyling it. If you know how to freestyle, you know what I'm saying? Not freestyle like I'm talking about. There's people who know how to freestyle with them. Shit sound like a written like Hove. She's not
Mhm.
Hove. Don't get carried away. I'm just
Right.
saying there's people who have that ability. Um, it was there. Everything was there. The sonic ability for like the first, I think it was like 8, 9 joints. It just kept rising, rising, rising. The sound, the musicality, I just felt like I don't want to sound crazy, but I was smoking a J. Maybe that's something to do with it. I felt
Yeah.
the music was kind of making me come out of my body a little bit. Pause. Like it's
Mm.
really the music was sonically like really dope.
Using a sonical experience.
Elements of Doja Cat, but without the things I don't like about Doja Cat has great elements to her, but I just can't listen to her for a long time. She has those elements, but I can listen to her. She's like a lot of things that I like. She was giving me vibes of like Missy, Nicki, some Left Eye vibes. I don't know if y'all niggas fuck with Left Eye, but there was a time where Left Eye was one of the premier like lady rappers. She was just giving me all types of vibes, and she was just talking. You get what I'm saying? It didn't feel like it was. I didn't feel like it was aimed specifically towards me. It just felt like this is just what good music sound like. She
Right.
didn't bar me to death. She didn't vibe me to death. She just did everything really good. She's like an all-purpose player. I thought it was fire.
You know, I'm gonna come clean because the way people were feeding for this project, you know, I immediately became skeptical because it's like, all right,
Same.
y'all bugging us. Like, oh, make sure you talk about Doechii. One
Thirsty.
person commented on 105 and was like, I'm disappointed in you guys. Y'all didn't talk about Doechii. I'm like, bro, the episode is pre-recorded. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What do you want from
we
us?
recorded this before the album dropped. Like, how are we gonna talk about something that didn't drop yet? You know what I mean? Like, relax.
That's why we have the lives, y'all, so we can cook.
You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna front. Like, when people are that hype and it makes me skeptical. It's like, are we doing this thing here where we're trying to push a certain narrative,
Yeah.
or is the music actually there? And is it a valid project that deserves to be talked about? And I say this, my main takeaway is, you know what I mean? Let me fix my hat. Uh,
Uh-oh.
this project is definitely valid. There's people who are in here and they're like album of the year, top 10 album of the year. This album is so fire. This is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Y'all niggas is dragging it.
Doing too much.
It's doing a lot. It's a good project in moments, excellent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like over time there's a few tracks that can be skipped. Fair is fair. But if I'm gonna focus in on her in particular, her ability to rhyme,
Impeccable.
she has something that Rhapsody doesn't have when it comes to charisma.
That's
Because to me, as far as like bar
compelling, Joff.
bars, like if we talking bars, maybe if rap is out rapping her, She's not out rapping Doechii by a lot, right?
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, Doechii has personality, and she's telling stories like the joint when she's having a conversation with like her alter ego and shit.
Cheating, yeah, the cheating
You know what I
joint.
mean?
Fire.
It's kind of gangster to me how she did it. So it's like personality, bars, you know what I mean? Storytelling ability.
Yeah.
I think what we have in Doechii is what we've kind of been asking for as rap fans. When we have the quote pussy rappers, we need somebody on the other side who can balance the conversation with the ladies,
Mm-hmm.
but not bore everybody to death. I think Doechii is that person. She has the bars, but she also has the charisma that a lot of the other barsmiths, when it comes to the ladies, don't have. And it's a sad thing because when we talk about the female rappers who the women rappers, I hate saying female because people kind of take that in a negative
The
sense.
lady rappers.
The lady rappers, a lot of them when they lean into the bars, they sacrifice everything else.
Yeah.
Everything comes back down to the bars. The charisma is not there. Sometimes they'll have the most fire bars and they can tell stories, but it's missing a certain ingredient because they're so focused on making sure that the lyrics and making sure. And some of them, let's talk about it. And some of them, they make sure that they don't even want to lean into the opposite side of the spectrum so far that in some cases they're almost like dudes with the rapping.
Yo.
And
Say it.
and now I'm not talking about anything with sex. I'm talking about their approach.
The approach, yeah.
There's certain levels of aggression. There's certain levels of a specific detail. It's like it's okay to be a lady and spit hot fire bars. Let's talk like that's what thing Doechii did that they don't do. Like Doechii is a girl's girl spitting fire bars.
Yes.
And I felt like I can see why niggas is fucking with it because and what you said earlier about the experience, this is the different like again everybody might not like it, right? I want to be clear about that, but she's uniquely herself on this project in a way that I've heard anybody else make
In
a
a
body of
long
work
time.
like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with this project. I don't think it didn't knock my socks off, but the things that I give good merits for, I came away like, all right, you know what? I'll put Doechii on my list. If she drops again, she's appointment listening now because now I'm putting her on a pedestal to where I want to see how much better you're gonna get. Because if this, yeah, and you're with TDE, so,
Yeah.
and
Shout out to Punch.
you're in a factory of people who are creative artists who lean on the bars. That means that you're gonna be around people who's gonna make you better. Iron sharpening iron, essentially. So I'm very excited to see Deanie like where she's gonna go from here. She has a very high ceiling,
Yeah, man.
very high ceiling, bro.
And like you said, like I'm willing to sacrifice some of the barmanship to get everything else I got out of it. You get what I'm saying? Like, is she like you said? Is she Rhapsody? No. Is she like a Shade Noir? No. But which that little bit of boom bapper ability, that little drop, the way she makes up for it with everything else, the sonics, her vocals are impeccable. Just like everything else fills in the void, B. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She's really good.
And this is the thing, like, that's why I don't want to say I get frustrated, but when people tune into the rap roundtable in any kind of medium, they listen loosely to what we say. They're not really like doing the knowledge or locking in or what we say verbatim. So they missed the point, right? So like we see here, FN says men rap about violence, drug selling, women, sex, money, getting out the hood. We've heard it all before, but you guys still listen. That's not the point that we're making here. What we're making here is, and if you follow the show and you really lock in with us, the artists, whether male or female, who stand out are the artists who creatively, while still rapping about the cliche things, push the envelope in a way that raises the stakes. Like Shay Noir, I think someone else said Shay Noir is their favorite rapper.
She's
Shay
nice.
Noir is wild. Her pen is wild crazy. Like again, her honestly, when it comes to bars or bars alone, you could say that her Shay Noir and Rhapsody are in a different
Up there.
stratosphere.
All the way up there.
But at the same time, it's like you could be good at bars, but we talking about artistry, bodies of work. And I look at what Doechii did, and I'm like, I'm not sure if a Shay Noir can do what a Doechii did on that project. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She could out rap
Or
Doechii
Rhapsody.
because Shay in there sparring with Ransom and fucking 38. Of course she's nice.
And Rhapsody's last project was just fire. So
Okay.
yeah.
But can we creatively do shit and challenge ourselves internally to make music that speaks beyond just having hot fire bars and street shit, right? We could talk about the hood shit, but how are you framing it? Doechii is a great separator to me because she's framing it in a way that no one else in her space is doing.
Both angles.
And the thing is, she's sprinkling in some of the old shit that we like,
Yeah.
while at the same time,
Definitely 90s vibes.
definitely 90s vibe, but then the lingo and the vibe
It's
is
modern.
that of today.
Yeah.
It's a level of
She's a
uniqueness.
hybrid.
Let's not bury the lead. There's a level of uniqueness that she's bringing to the table that her contemporaries don't have on either side of the spectrum, whether it's the pussy rappers or the bar ladies.
Facts.
To me, she's right in the middle, and I could do some shit. Again, like I think the album is solid. I'm giving her high marks for the chances that she took. Macito pulling up in the building right now. Macito, what's the word, man?
What's going on, yeah?
You know what I'm saying?
Vibes.
I'm giving Doechii credit for the chances that she took creatively, because if this is where she's at as an artist right now, still young as fuck, she's only gonna get better, and that should be something to look at. That should be the eyebrow raising moment here when we talk about the other girls who rhyme at a high level. Are they gonna be able to creatively stand next to Doechii, album for album, not bar for bar, but album for album? Macito, we talking about the Doechii project. What were your takeaways from that, man?
Good takes so far, fellas. I'm pretty much on board with y'all. I think that I was pleasantly surprised, way doper than I thought. There's a bunch of tracks on there, but it's not as long as y'all think, guys. You know what I mean? I think it's like 46, 47 albums, 47 minutes, something like that.
Yes, sir.
Very dope album. I've been having an eye on Doechii for a little minute. She's like one of those, whenever you see like the Ice Spice, or the Sexy Reds popping off, there's a few names that people say, hey, you should listen to this person instead. Doechii's one of those people associated with TDE. Am I correct with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So we know they only put out quality, right? So she's right on board with the rest of the crew. You know what I mean? I think the third generation crew of the TDE movement. There's been a lot of women who released albums this year. Some better than others. I think Lotto's was better than a lot of people thought. I think even Meg's was a little better than people thought it was gonna be. Ice Spice, yikes, you know what I mean? Not quite, you know what I mean? And I know Rap Roundtable serves as, the Ice Spice fan club on most days, but that album wasn't dope. So I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was a very dope album. Just like, I know Job been shooting down all of the album of the years recently, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not willing to go that far, but I'll say this. 3 albums I heard this year, and I thought, like, to myself, oh, this is an instant, like, I have to just put it aside for album of the year. It's Common and Pete Rock, of course, you know what I mean? It's the 38 Special that we reviewed recently, you know what I mean? I didn't say nothing because y'all was like, I don't want to hear no album of the year shit. So I shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? But I did think 38 Special was in the album of the year conversation. And with this Doechii album, I think it's in the album of the year conversation. I can't lie. Dini, you mentioned a lot of people. I think I hear some Azealia Banks vibes on here.
Facts.
I hear some Doja Cat vibes on here. You know what I mean? She really puts together a lot of sounds, a lot of, you know what I mean, a lot of styles. I'm impressed. You know what I mean? The hype is real because she's definitely one of those internet picks as far as, you know what I mean, people who usually pretend like they know a lot about music and then they recommend a terrible artist. They were right with this one. Doechii's on point. Very impressed by the album, bro.
Y'all did right.
Shouts up. Yeah, she did right. She did right.
Again, I know this is a little bit different for everybody. We don't usually do lives on Thursday, but I see everyone is, starting to file in piece by piece. So at this point, again, if you haven't by now, we got 160 in here. Everyone hit that like button. If you haven't by now, hit the subscribe option. You know what I'm saying? Run the comments up. Roundtablemerch.com. Get you one of these. If you're feeling donating ish, hit us on the Cash App. But we need 350 likes on each and every video. So make sure that you hit the like button. And if you haven't by now, subscribe. And underneath that, when it gives you the bell option, hit the all so that when YouTube likes to play games and try to like play with people's paper, y'all will get notified anyway that the Rap Roundtable is live and on deck. But let's get into a different topic here. Shout out to everybody who went to bat for Doechii. I understand why y'all feel so strongly about her as an
Right.
artist because she offers something unique. And in this space of same, it's a lot of sameness happening. Her being so unique is a breath of fresh air, and I'm looking forward to as she improves as an artist, where she will land in this conversation. But again, hit the like button, run the likes up, 350 likes on the video. New Ransom and Conway dropping them all. We eating
Yeah.
good right now.
Yeah,
But
that's a fact.
we got to get a little chatty now. You know,
A what?
100 gigs for the plot twist situation has been, the whole we will win game 2, et cetera, et cetera. It's been a lot of talk with that. Y'all know we love to get chatty and talk about Kendrick and Drake.
Why not?
Where others might feel like they too cool to talk about it, we lean right into it because we like static. We know that y'all like the static.
No
Y'all love the
drama.
different angles. And let's be clear, some of y'all like to beat up Drake. So we give y'all the opportunity to do all of these
Sure.
things. But there's been talk on Twitter. Mesito, I'm coming back. I'm coming back to you. There's been talk on Twitter that eventually, plot twist, 100 gigs for your head tie, whatever you want to call the that page, is gonna have some information that's gonna have Kendrick Lamar looking very funny in the light. Have you seen that conversation? And what are your thoughts on it?
I've seen a little bit of that conversation, y'all. I have, you know what I mean? Because there's been different plot lines in this plot twist. You know what I mean? So some say it's gonna have something to do with his fiance Whitney. Some people say it's gonna be something about contracts. Some people, it's a lot of theories out there. You know what I mean? It's a lot of theories. Me personally, I'm not gonna lie. Just like you say, we love the drama over here at the Rap Roundtable. We love the static. But I personally think that would be a bad move. It would be a bad move. I don't think we still in the red zone right now. Kendrick Lamar's Q rating is still
A1.
Kamala levels right now,
Yeah.
man. He's winning in the popular vote by a landslide right now. Okay, guys, you know what I mean? I don't know what information you can drop that's gonna sway anybody, right? The Drake fans are where the Drake fans are at. The Kendrick fans are where the Kendrick fans are at, right? And the people, I don't even know. This battle was so, it split the public so much. I don't even think you gotta pick a side, right? Everybody except 21 Savage gotta pick a side. But I don't think there's nothing like what could come out. You know what I mean? The allegations that he swung your way. You know what I mean? Maybe people might hate him for that. Like ghostwriting, but like we kind of got some L's. We know Yachty ghost wrote some verses on our side. You know what I'm saying? So I think the music is doing enough. Maybe I'm still in the I still believe damn it mode, you know what I'm saying? I'm still buying in the
I dig it,
kayfabe,
Mace.
you know what I mean? Vince McMahon did Bret Hart wrong, you
I
feel me?
dig it.
But I still think that the music is doing enough. The circadian joint, the no face, you know what I mean? Like we back on top of the fucking, streaming, whatever. Everybody's the monthly streaming that nobody gives a fuck now. People don't post that as much anymore now that, it's for the other side, Denny. So you might have not seen that. You know what I mean? It's not getting as many reposts this time around.
It's
But
quiet.
it's real quiet as a church mouse. You feel me? But the music is the way to go. We've learned that the gossip, we've learned that the red button, was more like a yellow button. You know what I mean? Niggas is really driving past that when you get to the light. You feel me? So nah, man, I'm not here for the gossip right now. I'm not, and it maybe I'll switch. Maybe I'll switch my ideas if it's something so fucking dramatic. You know what I'm saying? That is, it swings the public's idea. I don't think it will. Stay with the music. Send your little shots, you know, Pusha T style. You know what I mean? Drop your hits. That's the way to go. No gossip, bro.
What is this I'm seeing in the chat? Chat, help me out here. Y'all say a pen is in question. Was that a new 100 gigs post that somebody said that Kenny's pen is in question? Am I missing that?
Let us know, y'all. I didn't see. You know, there was
I
maybe
seen a
Wow.
few
I'm
people in the
just
chat say pen is in question. Pen is in question. Can y'all do the knowledge? Help me out
yeah.
here.
Do
Put
the
me
For
on.
knowledge on
real.
the pen is in question for us, y'all,
You know what I
because I
mean?
know there's been what is it? That random people said not like us had a reference, but it was learned to be from a bullshit account. You know, there was that
Mm,
random guy who was down with the clique at one point saying that he ghost wrote stuff, but then the guy ended up saying that he also ghost wrote stuff for Drake, so it ended up looking like bullshit. So if it's
mm.
somebody more legitimate than those two, y'all let us know, please.
Got it. I'm gonna jump in here,
What's
Cook.
the vibes?
and then I'm gonna throw the grenade to Dini.
All right.
So what I saw on Twitter from a couple of platforms of people who might be in the know is that plot twist page is eventually gonna leak some like a video of Drake or whoever it is, the mole or the rat, feeding Kendrick Lamar the fake information about the
Oh
daughter.
shit.
They say
Wow.
that I said this whole they're saying this whole thing is building up to that information coming to the light where the OVO camp fed Kenny the fake daughter information. Dina, you hear that? And that drops. What does that do to this whole conversation?
Yeah, Dan. What's the word?
Not much.
Ah, talk
what
heavy.
what is it? I mean, was the fake daughter thing the reason he got smoked? You
I
get what
don't
I'm
know.
saying? So you can't use that as an excuse. I really don't think anything he drops. I mean, out unless it's some outlandish shit.
Mhm.
But as far as putting information out, I just think that's so corny, bro. And since people already have it in your mind, in their mind, that you are the corny guy,
Right.
this will only really hurt more than it will help. You get what I'm saying? You look
Mhm.
super bitch made doing it. It looks like you ever wash a nigga and he know he can't beat you with the hand, so he got to do little sneak shit behind your back to try to like.
Mhm.
That's what it looked like. It looked
Oh
crazy, bro.
shit.
Like the best thing he can do right now is live a beautiful life. You get what I'm saying? Make the people
Mm.
go, oh shit, like that'll make the people forget the constant I'm dropping shit about the shit on a nigga and shit about you doing this and that. It just you look so based. The thing you want to do is look less based, less concerned, less worried, less focused on this particular aspect of your life. You got a lovely kid, you got 100 million girls, you got the biggest record contract going right now. Like there's a lot of things you can do to celebrate. Go shoot hoops with the fucking with the Raptors. Do something. Does that go buy a boat and take the whole Philharmonica with you on some Bruce Wayne shit? Like, I don't know. But I just feel like more dropping weirdo shit. This can't help. Half the people that's giving this to Kendrick are people that just don't like Drake. There's people that love the actual rap aspect of it, Kendrick one. And there's people's like, I don't like this nigga anyway. Fuck it, let's go. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You want to kind of
You
get
make
your
a
footing
point,
back
man.
from
You
those
make a
people.
point.
You need to get your footing back. That's it. And this ain't gonna be the way you get your footing back.
I want to hear Jaw's take on
Me
this.
too.
I think, man, if this is what it is, and if that's the big reveal that you know we fed him fake information and that somehow gives him points, it kind of goes back to that whole thing that we was talking about on 105 with the whole perception wars and you trying to beat like people use their social media characters and people want to like make that person look crazy. But I don't think I don't think that's a smart play because he did that and then Meet the Grams happened followed by Not Like Us like the next day or 2 days later.
Next day
You know what I'm
after.
saying? Then
Yeah.
Drake won and then he leaked this info. Then it's like, oh shit, he dancing on
Demon
Kenny
time.
grave.
Right.
But
Right.
but the speculation that this is it, because I want to be clear, this is not a thing. But this is what people on Twitter who might be allegedly in the know are saying that is all building up to that, exposing that we fed him fake information. I don't think that's a smart play. In fact, you know, Deanie made this point about, oh, like when you beat somebody up or whatever, yeah, get the shaking, and then you got to do some sideways stuff to try to get your lick back. You know, usually there's only one way to get your lick back after you get pounded on, right? We don't condone that here, but metaphorically speaking, go get your situation and fight back. At this point, the more this drags on, and the more that Drake doesn't fully come outside and say, fuck all you niggas who tried to get me out of here. An aggressive fuck you.
Right.
He's acting like one of them punch drunk boxers who's getting beat up. And the thing is,
Oh
he
man.
getting beat up and he not keeping his guard up. In fact, he's dropping his hands trying to trade while getting punched on. And that's what it's starting to look like now. Because it's like, if it was a 20v1, allegedly, right? And you tried to, even when he was dissing them on Family Matters, even though, again, the drill part, magnifique, I enjoyed it. He was still very gentle with his disses. Everyone, with the exception of Rose, because Rose was on some troll shit. I felt like Rocky was way more aggressive when he punched back at Drake. Future and Metro were very aggressive. They made a whole diss album.
Mm-hmm.
We know what Kenny did. And it's like, Drake, you still sitting here trying to hack 1,000 cut niggas to death? Bro, come outside, fight these niggas, lose again, and go home. All these play, burner accounts, subtle messaging. If and when Drake comes outside, if he's not aggressively telling all these niggas to fuck out of here, bro, what is it for, Mace? What are we doing this for? Is he just trying to pay back his full? Is it just all a ploy to make sure that there's a return on the investment? 400 M's?
It's a lot of money.
Are we just playing the game to make sure that there's excitement for the new project? That's what it's starting to feel like, a rollout. Is what I'm saying.
Joe, speaking of investments, man, like, does Future have a 400 M deal, 3 albums in 1 year? Dean, we gonna have to speak about this, man. Listen, I think that
y'all cook. I'll be right back. Y'all cook.
Copy.
Firstly, I think that it's a bad move, right? I think this is like I think FN say in the chat like 5 months later, like this was if you had this was supposed to be released like in conjunction with the Heart Part 6. To be honest with you, you know what I mean? You had like the little subliminals in the Family Matters video, made it seem like you was, chatting with the biker gang mob boss, you know what I'm saying? Heart Part 6 was supposed to have the we fed him the information. Like, It's been like, I think only us Drake fans are the only ones really dragging this where's the daughter thing. I don't think anybody gives a fuck whether Drake has a daughter or not, bro. I don't think anybody gives a shit.
Really don't care.
I think that's gonna be like the Drake fan QAnon version of the "See, we told you so." Like, I don't think that's gonna do any damage, bro. You feel me? Saying like, who's that for? You know what I mean? It like it could be true, right? You know what I mean? I don't think there's a daughter, but nobody gives a fuck. That's the problem. And I think that Drake, he's been focusing on little things that people don't give a fuck the whole battle. Even when he started with push-ups, he started with the, drop and give me 50. I thought it was a dope song. I was happy that he popped outside, that he was aggressive, that he was saying, Kendrick, let's get it. But the actual content of the disses, that wasn't like anything damaging. Like, Drake, when you first got your deal, man, niggas was in your pockets. You know what I mean? Like, down to the Family Matters portion of the beef. You know what I'm saying? I don't, even if the shit with Whitney was true, right? I don't think niggas really cared like that. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest here.
Nobody cared, bro.
Think, like, you're creating disses, like, what's impactful? The Atlanta verse on Not Like Us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even though Quavo has come out and, champion Drake, Thug is on a song with Drake, 21 is fucking with Drake. Like, all the people that he mentioned on there still fuck with Drake.
We getting money with this guy.
But the verse worked, bro. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't think Drake has a good you know, he doesn't have a good knowledge on what the public really cares about right now. And with the enemy like Kendrick, with a foe like Kendrick, he's kind of bulletproof in that manner, right? Like,
Yeah,
How many times has the public really turned on Kendrick like you fucked up? So that's
not at
from
all.
the beginning that was the issue with this. Now I want to be honest here. Can I go on a little, a
Cook,
little
cook
tangent, Dean? You know what I mean?
with the
But
spatula.
away from just the Kendrick side, I blame Pusha T for this, bro. Pusha
Yeah,
T
he
whooped
opened the
Drake's
door.
ass in that battle. The story of
Mhm.
Adidon was so lethal. It was so
Tough.
surgical. It was so final in that battle. And I say this as a double
Brutal.
freestyle truther. You know what I mean? That Drake thinks that the reason he lost was because of the info. And so everything he's gone moving forward, when he's dissing people, when he's mentioning people, when he's taking shots, it's this type of thing, right? It's
Hmm.
that I have the info, that I might have slept with your shorty. You know what I mean? I know something that the public doesn't know. That's been his whole focus since the Pusha T shit. And I think he confused with the mastery that Pusha T showed lyrically, that he showed the focus that he showed on the record, the venom that he spit on there, the perfect beat that he chose to rap over. I don't think he
Hmm.
realizes that's the reason that Pusha T won, and not because of the info. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't think, other than, the Twitter, gallery that week, that month, I don't think nobody really gave a fuck about that either. You know what I mean? Mad people got kids we don't even fucking know about. So it's like, I don't think the knowledge of Drake having a kid or whatever, you're hiding a child, that
Yeah,
worked within the disc, but that's not why you lost. It's because of how lethal Pusha T was.
the bars were
So I
scathing.
think Drake thinks that there's some sort of hat to drop, that there's some sort of info to release, that there's some sort of gossip to spread, pause, that is gonna win him this thing, and it's not gonna be that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I just don't Job. I just went on a Pusha T tangent. I'm sorry I had to get at your man's, but it's his fault.
Hey, we
You know what
like
I
we
mean?
like
This whole
we like
entire
tangents here at the
situation.
Rap Round Table.
You know what I mean? It's Pusha T's fault. So I think that's, you mentioned punch drunk, Job. I still think he's punch drunk from 2018, the Pusha T fight. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? It's like you think that Kung Fu is going to win you a kickboxing match at this
mm.
point. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just like we was all over the place, thing. But all in all, Job, I blame Pusha T, bro.
I mean, that was the first chink in the armor. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? That's always going to be like the chicken or the egg argument. Well, we know it was that you got in the ring with Pusha. First of all, you inherited beef. Got in the ring. You basically, I always used that most recent beatdown, but with the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford situation, that was the one fight everybody knew you shouldn't take. But then you got in the ring, and what we thought would happen to you is exactly what happened to you. You got punched on real bad. You get punched in the neck, punched in the face, and that was the
Cook.
first. And thing is, Drake. That's the thing about Drake is like, as a competitor, he's heavy on the I want to get my get back, right? But he doesn't take the lessons from the losses. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah,
After the main takeaway
Taking the
from
wrong lessons from the
that's why I
loss.
said I don't think there's
oh,
nobody in the corner because somebody in the corner would have been guiding. You feel
that's a
me?
fact, and that's what I mean. It's like the main takeaway should have been people kind of don't like you the way you think they do, Drake. Because look how fast a lot of people flipped on Drake with the with
Quick.
the Pusha thing. The Drake's greatest situation in that was that Pusha T wasn't a commercially viable artist like that.
Right.
Like he wasn't in that same conversation. You could argue at that time Pusha T was already in his adult contemporary rap bag where the audience is limited to heads, the
Hmm.
cloth, like us. But for a couple of days on the internet, people turned against him. That should have been the lesson. That kind of power in the wrong hands or the wrong opponent in this case, he
Nightmarish.
would end up how he's looking right now with Kenny because Kenny is the wrong opponent. Because you can't little bro Kenny because Kenny's just as famous as you. in certain regards. And when I say just as famous, I don't mean follow for follower, but I mean they occupy the same stratosphere when it comes to rap fame.
Yeah.
Right.
But so it's like now you got a guy who can make the radio records. He should be thankful this didn't happen in 2018 when Kenny was on that run. The radio records.
I'm thankful.
He gets the think pieces. That's a dangerous blend. The nigga who could get on the radio and get the think pieces and the white people and the DJs. You know what I'm saying?
Jack
He
of
should
all
have learned
trades,
that
man.
niggas don't love you like that. He swore he was Hov. You look, Jay-Z was my favorite rapper back in the day. He should have learned from Jay. Jay learned the same lesson. As famous as you are, as popular as you think you are, niggas don't love you like that.
That's that Kobe Paul Pierce shit, Joe.
Right. And it takes, but if you end up against the wrong opponent, the nigga that niggas love, Kenny, Nas,
Yeah.
and you don't win, not only do you lose badly.
Cooked.
You can't treat Kenny like he jail felony. You feel what I'm saying? You're not a felony, you a misdemeanor. That was a fire bar, but that's jail felony.
Yeah.
When you get in the ring with a true heavyweight, you can't act like Ali against Frazier in the Garden. You got to be Ali versus Frazier in the jungle, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't learn that lesson. And the internet flipped. And the thing is, the internet more cutthroat than it is now because you could argue that Drake, when it comes to fame, he's on the other side of his prime. Because I saw a graphic the other day and I'm mad. I'll be getting mad at myself. Because you scroll on the web, you just see shit, you keep it moving. And from now on, I got to get into the habit. With certain things that are good talking points, I got to save everything. Because the last couple of Drake projects, there was a graphic where it was like, I don't remember, please don't quote me, y'all, because y'all be ready to fact check. But it was somewhere around his first half of his career, 5 million, 4 million. I think he had an album that did close to 8 million. It was something crazy. It was Kendrick, Cole, and it was a Drake fan trying to say that even if you would say Drake lost, look at the stats. But what stood out to me was like the last 2 or 3 projects were like just 1 million. So this guy who was like multi-platinum, near diamond artist, when it comes to, I know he got diamond single, I'm talking about albums, to where now your album's doing single time platinum. Now we know the sales are depressed, but this is Drake, pop star, platinum. You're already declining. Certified Lover Boy did more damage than people will ever really want to admit. His singles are not sticking how they were. He didn't have a hotline bling in him this time. He don't got a one dance in him right now. He don't got none of the things that can make you forget. He don't got a Kiki, do you love me? You know what I'm saying? So he's on the other side of his prime. Still giving you good numbers, still on the court dominating, but he got to take a few more shots. The field goal percentages, he was a 50% shooter. He more like a 45% shooter now. And you run into the wrong guy like Kenny, who's a guy like D Wade in 06, where he does greatness in bursts, and you get caught up in a rapture at the wrong time. He got caught up in a burst, pause, because he got 4 diss records in a week. That's what Kenny does. Kenny shows up in waves.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you're declining. So now we got to play these. That's why I keep saying, that's why I was like, I wish I was in the OVO camp. Because it's like, somebody needs to tell me, yo, bro, you have to either shut the fuck up and make records or get extremely aggressive. It goes like a fuck out of here. Go like all y'all niggas can suck my dick. If he just says it,
Frank's
it changes the whole. You know what I'm saying? It changes the argument just a little bit. Now we know OVO Drake is never gonna throw to Frank. That's not his body. But sometimes you got to get outside of yourself to win a fight.
Yeah.
Kenny gonna throw to Frank. You dealing with a nigga who got a whole Frank stand. Pause. Like Kenny's gonna throw to Frank. With no hesitation. Kenny's disrespectful. That's the thing I always said about Kenny. Kenny is a true Gemini, bro. Like he's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Them niggas will choose peace or extreme violence. You don't know when it's gonna happen, bro. And you gotta be prepared. And you out here trying to just do some weird shit. And it's like, bro, throw that Frank. Tell him, like, just start really shitting on niggas, not casually. Really say it. And again, that's another difference between him and Hov. When Hov was winning, he talked big shit.
Dirty.
When I was beating him up, he was still talking big shit. And that persona, that bravado, that gravitas allowed him to make a black album. Because in his mind, it's like, yeah, I lost to this nigga, but so what? He still can't fuck with me. Even if he didn't mean it.
I gotta
You know what I'm
thank my
saying?
little homie Naz for that though.
Right, right.
Little jabs, little joints.
Kendrick over
Lil
there
Jazz.
sassing and subbing, bro. Sassing and subbing is not gonna win this fight. But I digress. You know what I mean? I just wanted to get
That's a
that off.
bar.
Now you was cooking. You was cooking.
Yeah, and Free, he made Blueprint 2 first, right?
Yeah.
But then we got the S Carter mixtape
Oof.
after. We got the Black album right after that. Because a lot of you niggas
Fuego.
who wasn't outside when the shit was going on, don't know that the Blueprint happened, but the Clue tapes were still happening. The Rockefeller pull-up freestyles were still happening. Y'all only know what the albums tell y'all. Y'all didn't really do the knowledge because y'all wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So be careful when you try to correct me, nigga. I lived it. You know what I'm saying? That Nas and Jay Squabble wasn't a couple of diss songs on albums. It was a lot of bars,
Long go.
a lot of pull-ups, mixtape shit, interviews. There was a lot going on. So please be mindful when you talk to me about that. And if anything, Mace, OVO, Captain, the God himself, might need to go watch some film, nigga. on how to rap beef. Yeah, or shut up. Matter of fact, I'm
The
putting
right
it on
way.
wax. I'm gonna put it on wax. If you're not getting aggressive, Aubrey, shut the fuck up. That's it. That's
Fall
where I'm
back.
at. If you're not getting aggressive, shut the fuck up. If you're not gonna stand on your square and stop getting punked and be sassy, because even the girls turning against you.
Yeah,
What's the worst thing
crazy.
that can happen as a man? You get beat up in front of a bunch of girls.
Mm.
The girls turning against you.
They can't see you the same way, dog.
Come on, bro. We just lost Mason too much heat. You know what I mean?
The embassy cut the line.
Oh, he cut the line.
We need more defense.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, back again and then dipped again.
Right. So with he got a Penelope Sanchez said we've been turned against him.
again. I peeped. I was like, damn, that was scathing, girl.
We gotta put that on the
Felt that in the soul.
God damn, let me see. Oh Lord. Penelope said we've been turned against him. I'm sorry.
Salute to the chat.
So you got a shovel, Penelope? You helping with the grave? Is that what's going on here? Kenny Mack in his glee. Kenny Mack been fronting on Drake for a minute.
He going ham right now. Shout out to you, Kenny. But Penelope, if he drops some heat, we know you're gonna be right back where you was though. We know this.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Shout out to the ladies.
We gotta move on. But again, 350 likes on every video. We see we got up to about 300 in the chat. Again, I know this is not our regular day, so shout out to y'all for finding us.
Salute.
350 likes right now, please. If you're here and you haven't hit that like already, hit that like right now. Subscribe if you haven't already. We at 18.2K subs. So we got there, walking them down, about to pass niggas.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? 20K on the way. Lock in. Again, roundtablemerch.com. Cash App, hit us up. Follow us on the socials. Macito internet really being disrespectful, but we gonna try to figure this shit out.
Yeah,
but we gotta move on to Big Sean, right? This project drops. I want to get the name of the project because I'm gonna be truthful here. I'm so disappointed in this album that I'm trying to cleanse it from my brain. But anyway, I don't want I'm wilding. I didn't even introduce the project, and I'm being Better Me Than You by Big Sean. So before I get into this, I'm gonna let my brothers cook. This is essentially the rap NFL season open pre-show. All the other shows did what they needed to do. Now we here to get y'all ready for football. Lost Mace again. So Deanie the Balance, Big Sean, better me than you. Your thoughts?
I thought it was pretty cool. My real gripe with the album that it is long as fuck for no reason, bro. Like there's like 8 songs that could have easily been chopped off this. My personal opinion, outside of track 1, which I didn't like, because I feel like if you're gonna start the track with all the pressure and all the shit, you got the second track got to be coming through swinging. You know what I'm saying? Don't set the bar up that high if you're not gonna do that. But I thought track 2 through 7 were fire. Iconic, Typecast, Break the Cycle, You Are Who You Are, Superstar, Yes, and It Is What It Is. I thought those were fire. And I always say, you got to start off strong. And in terms of that, I thought he started off strong. It's Everywhere We Go after that. Apologize, Clarity, On Up, Something, Black Void, this and that, and a million pieces. I just thought them shits didn't even need to be on the album. I respect the whole you want to get your shit out, but sometimes you got to go with what works. You chop those songs out, you get back to get you back certified precision, and then the joint ending off with Alchemist. Like that's good work right there, bro. Like this is not a bad album. It's just a overly drawn out album from my nigga. Like I say, my nigga with the crystals, my peaceful nigga. You know he gonna have a lot to say. The peaceful nigga. I thought it was cool. I just think it was way too long. He chopped off those 8 songs I mentioned. I'd be having a totally different conversation about this Sean album. The ones that were fire were fire. The shit with Alchemist that might be the best ending of an album I heard in a long time. I thought that song was super fire. The shit with Alchemist and him. I thought they should have focused more on that combination, him and Alk. But because the last few joints him and Alk dropped was crazy. The shit he did Palisades with Alk and Larry June was crazy. Might arguably a lot of people's verse of the year for Sean. You know what I'm saying? He really showed up and showed out on that. But the album as a package, it's cool. When I say cool with a K, it's cool. But it's just I'm so cool on some whole shit. Nah, but it's just a little too long. It's a very drawn out album. Like I said, he was going through shit. When niggas go through shit, they want to get that shit off their chest. You know what I'm saying? But he could have had a deluxe and dropped that later on and just kept the joints I talked about. And I thought we would have a way better album.
Mesito, talk to me, gang. Nigga got the mute on and shit. He don't even know he muted.
The embassy. Oh, Mace.
You have to like kick Mace off the rest of this episode. Like you fucking up the vibe right now.
The feng shui, Mace.
Like what's going on, man?
my bad, y'all. We talking Sean right now. I was a little underwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie. The first half of the album is very dope. Experiments with sounds, experiments with production styles. It's Sean in his lane. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, okay, this is what I came for. Second half of the album kind of falls off a little bit for me. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those people who begged for a mature album. Then we got a mature album, and you know what I mean? Facts. We said we don't want this. I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy, you know what I'm saying, with hearing where Sean is at. I enjoy hearing about his family, what his thoughts are as a man. I appreciate a rapper, you know what I mean, that's been in the game as long as him, is able to convey that type of message in his music. You know what I mean? So I appreciated it. But just the level of the music just isn't, you know, it just isn't where it needs to be. Deanie, you seen I was all over the place. So I don't know if you got to mention the fact that, you know, a lot of the album got cut with those leaks. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn you, Kanye, you back at it again. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of great songs. The Nas song, there's a couple more songs that didn't carry over. I know those sounded unmastered. I know it wasn't a complete album, but those were clearly the tracks that he wanted on here. I think that the album's just okay for me. Lyrically, Sean is, you know what I'm saying? He's as good as you think. You know what I mean? On a mainstream level, Sean, you know what I mean? Verse for verse could go with anybody, including your favorites, including our favorites. You know what I mean? Amongst his peers, he's revered for a reason. You know what I mean? Just like I said, his production choices early in the album, I was rocking with. You know what I mean? He got a little Atlanta on us. You know what I mean? He of course, he had his Detroit vibe. He got a little boom bap on us. But you know, I just wasn't feeling it, to be honest with you. So, you know, I wanted to like the album. I'm not looking at the tracks right now. So once I hear y'all mention the tracks, I'll be able to remember exactly what song placements I'm talking about. That's why I'm saying first half, second half. But, you know, this isn't where I wanted to hear Sean after all these years. I know he had the leak and everything, but you know, on his comeback record, on the album that, you know, he's supposed to go for the crown, you know, metaphorically, I don't think that he really, you know, was able to really give us that, you know, what's the Dark Sky fan? What's the
Dark Sky Paradise?
Dark Sky Paradise. That's like peak Sean. You know what I mean? It's not that level. Right? It's not. Yeah, that's the shit that had blessings on it. That it's not that level for me. You know what I mean? So, you know, shouts to Sean. he's in shape, bar for bar. I'm not saying he fell off or anything, but just album wise, it's not where it needs to be. Maybe he needs Coach Kanye on the team. I don't know.
And that's where I'll begin. Big Sean, you made a strong point there, Mace. He's in shape. He can rap at a very high level. But Big Sean is not. Let me not say it's not, because I hold Detroit too in high regard. Whereas a lot of people don't. Big Sean fans know what Detroit 2 is. But I felt like this time around, instead of going so dark, he needed some true production. But the thing is, Kanye not even trustworthy enough to take him on that journey anymore. And that's a recipe that hip hop is missing right now. Who is the guy? Remember, in every era, there was a guy you could go to and say, yo, if he get with such and such, they out of here. For this generation, who is that person a Big Sean could go to get him right? Or just be in a room and get a project. Is it Pharrell? We're gonna see when that Clips album drop if Pharrell is the last true shogun of that era who could get the young person who needs guidance right. Because when I listen to this project, bro, much like the top of the episode, we talked about lyricism, but sometimes we also got to talk about creativity in music. Bars can't always carry you. Some people believe that bars are enough, and I'm not here to debate that today. But to me, if you're giving me a body of work, and matter of fact, let me pull it up again because I want to give you the exact number of songs. If you're telling me that you're giving me 21 songs for an hour and 6 minutes, it has to be a sonical adventure alongside the top tier lyricism. It has to be highs, lows, some roller coaster shit, some sharp left turns. That's why I get them. Where some people fronted, Schoolboy Q gave you the kind of album that these guys in that particular bracket need to be making. Whereas it might, on the surface of it, it seems like it's all over the place, but there's a method to that madness, and you still convey your feelings and the things that you're going through. Because again, that album by Schoolboy Q was much like Big Sean's album. It was a therapy session.
Mm-hmm.
But he got his therapy off in a way that niggas can go on that journey. And in 1 minute you do a 95, the next minute you in traffic. But it's all cohesive. I felt like with this Big Sean album, I was in traffic from track 1 all the way to track 21. The shit, it never took off. You know? And it's like, all right, he's been going through some things, and he's been going to therapy, and it's therapy bars. And it's like, maybe this album is for somebody who's going through that shit. But it's like, this is not, like, I'm really disappointed in this project. And again, I'm the Big Sean fan at the Rap Roundtable. This album is very disappointing. This is not, again, what you're going through in your life is totally understandable. But you cannot convey that message in such a depressing way. Not like what I'll say is, it makes me wonder about what happened before he did that IG live, and he was all like
crying.
sad and borderline crying and whatnot.
Yeah.
This is, of course, he was. I'm beginning to wonder: did he know that this album was kind of weak? Was he pushing it back because he was trying to find the thing that was missing?
Damn,
that's ill.
And then he just gave up and said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna put it out because I just can't find that thing, that element that's missing." Because again, it's like this album, he's so sad, bro. Even when he's talking about his family and his parents was like, they were flight attendants and he was destined to be fly and all this and that.
In the clouds.
And it's like, talking about being in college and getting out the CD. Like, I listened to this album, it's like, bro, like, what you going through, gang? You like, maybe, you know what? On a human level, maybe he needed to make this album. Maybe he needed to get it out of his system. But I'm concerned about Sean the person after this project. Because this album is dour, bro. It's very downtrodden. He might be one of the most unhappiest rappers in the league, bro.
The nigga with the crystals.
Even
that Detroit shit, he on his Eminem vibes.
Having his son with the woman he loved, even some of the questionable things he said about marriage that the ladies jumped all over him for. Sean, a few weeks ago I was saying he should have been aggressive and stood on what he felt like was right when people took his flow, the thing with Kenny and all of that. That's not who he is. That man wants peace. And I'm not sure how that works as a young rapper. The older rappers, is he too young to be an adult contemporary? Because he still want to move like
I
he's
think
young.
so.
Nah, is he though?
He still move like
I think he.
Sean got to be what, 35?
It's not about your age though, right? About you know what I'm saying? I feel like all rappers that age still make music for 20-year-olds. Like Jay was 35, around Blueprint 3 times. He was still making music for the 20-year-olds at that point.
Yo, I
Facts.
fucking hate that album. Carry on, niggas.
American Gangster, you know what I mean? He was still at his mid-30s during that, right? You know what I mean? That was still for us, So I don't know if he could quite, listen, Jaw. That's a good point you're making. His state of mind doesn't seem, and we're not the therapist roundtable, but we gotta say what we listening to, right? He don't sound like a dude that's really, happy to be where he at. That's really reflecting on success the way he should be. I watch his interviews.
You put a Y on the end of the P. That spells therapy for the rap. Be careful. Be careful.
Right. So so listen. He don't sound like somebody that's reflecting on the successes of the last 15 years. On, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying make a happy album. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying do what people say they don't like about Drake, right? Make the album for the teens. I'm not saying do that, but this is a guy who has some legendary club songs, right?
Yeah.
Can we get a club jam, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I want to jump in, Mace. Free said low energy album, and that's what this is. Mm-hmm. It's like low vibrational vibes, bro. Like this is not even good music to burn sage to, bro. Like this is low vibrational energy. Everything is like this dark, and then there's sad, gang. Like I pulled up Detroit too, because he was still in his therapy vibe on that album. He talked about suicidal thoughts and all type of shit on this project.
Last few albums.
But then he had records like, again, if you like Detroit 2, you understand where I'm going with this. You have records like Lucky Me, Deep Reverence, Wolves of Post Malone. You know what I'm saying? The Dave Chappelle Story, Zone the Fuck Out. You know what I mean? Shit like Lithuania. You had a Feed, the story with Erykah Badu, Dawn Life and Lil Wayne. Like I'm just showing, they were like, how you say, palate cleansers throughout that project. So even when he got into his serious bag, even like he had different type of beat selections, and that album had a trippy kind of vibe where he was really taking you all over the place. And it's like, if you made this album already, come bring some positive energy to this shit, or go super raw. Someone in the chat had mentioned Link with Alchemist and just do a full project with Al. Maybe he need to do that. Just go on some bar shit, get barred up on some Griselda shit, find the hardest Alchemist beats you can find, and just rap. And just and instead of trying to compete with these guys in the quote big 3, big 4, whatever the fuck, just create your own lane. You could be the bridge between Griselda and that ilk, the overground ilk, and the commercial ilk. Because we really know Sean can make the girl shake ass at any point if he wants to.
The last few Alchemist joints have been fire, like really fire.
Maybe it's time, and I mean,
or really lock in with Hit. Like, come on,
lock in with Hit Boy, because we know when Al and Hit get together, they know how to make a project. I mean, with the exception of everybody can't go, but everything else, everything else.
I don't know what happened, man.
Everything else is hit. You know what I'm saying? So
they were saving the beats.
Yeah, that was facts though.
Because again, we listen to the little 3-pack they dropped. Then I listen to the joint with Hit Boy's dad, and I go back to Benny, and I'm like, I see why Benny have niggas we don't know producing his Summertime Butch tape, because niggas fronting on the beats.
Facts.
But I digress. Again, if you haven't listened to Summertime Butch by now, y'all playing yourself. If you haven't listened to the new 38 by now, y'all playing yourself.
Facts.
New Ransom and Conway on the way. So as much as we love the mainstream shit, the rappers are coming outside for the third and fourth quarter. It almost seems staged. And the Fly God himself got a new project on the way. He dropped the art, the Sid Vicious art to go with it, or the
Yep.
Psycho Sid, whatever you want to know him as. I always like the Sid Vicious name more so than anything else, so I'm calling him Sid Vicious. Rest in peace to him as well. But within that, the last topic of the day before we get up out of here and let y'all go watch some football. Stove God Cooks drops I guess an EP you call it,
Mhm.
on a new platform. What is it called again, Mace? You remember the name of the platform that he
Even. I
dropped it?
think it was
Even?
even. I think it was called even.
I think it's called Even. You're right, Dini. He drops the project, a 7-pack. How do we feel about Stove God, you know, giving us new music unexpectedly to a certain degree? Dini the Balance, tap in.
Now, this was what I found underwhelming. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? I was very shocked. I blame it on the beat selection. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was like 75 the beat selection percent. There was just so many times listening to that. I listened to it like 2 or 3 times just to make sure I'm not bugging out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I listened to Old Stove to make sure I'm not bugging out again. And I just was like, that I just maybe I'm cursed because I want the feel of shit like Mariota. You know what I'm saying? Blow
Right.
for blow, Vogue cover. Like I want shit like that. Jose Canseco. That's the type of that's the feeling he's always given. Like even the charisma on the album, it don't feel like I'm in the trap stove. It feel like I'm in the Maybach stove. You get what I'm saying? And I think
Mm.
that's the hard part about being that kind of rapper. Like you have to still kind of show you still kind of in that hunger. You get what I'm saying? And I didn't feel it off this project. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple joints that I thought was really dope. I thought All the Pro was cool. I thought the Nas joint was cool, and I thought the glove joint was cool. I really liked the glove, but I thought everything else was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't expect that from him. I said, you know what? Let me just make sure I'm not bugging again, because the shit I'm talking about is the shit with West Side Gun. You know what I'm saying? And the whole Griselda. So I said, fuck it. Let me go back and listen to Reasonable Drought, produced by fucking Rock Marcy. And I'm like, yo, as soon as that shit turn, I'm like, Rolls Royce brake lights, trunk, I'm in the morning, but the plug come late night. It's just a feeling. I didn't get
Mm.
that feeling from this project. Not to say the project isn't good, but Stove is a feeling. You get what I'm saying? I've been
Yes.
waiting for that feeling on a project for like 5 years now. And this shit did not give me that feeling. And it does make me even more nervous because this is the one we've been waiting for. We're waiting for like an actual project. We've got it, and I'm not the most impressed. And I know Stove got it in him. That nigga's one of the nicest niggas on the planet. I don't
Is he?
yes, nigga. In terms of even though the bars were there, the cadence was there. Everything that I love was there, except for like the hunger and like I said, the beats. There was mad times listening. I'm like, the beat should drop here, the beat should change here, the beat should switch here, and the beat was just drumless loops for a lot of them shit, just over and over, and not the conductor type drumless loops. No disrespect to whoever did the production on the shit, but I'm like, you should have just called up conductor because every time he can link with conductor, shit go crazy. Like
Mm.
sometimes you gotta do what works, bro.
I
You know what I'm
need a
saying?
1,000 bricks right
Right
now.
now, you feel
You
me?
don't
Like
gotta worry.
at
Yeah,
all. Like I
yeah.
need that kind of stove. I don't. That's not what I felt on this project.
Ah, Macito. Again, we know this is not your bag. You know what I mean? Mace, you're muted, sir. You know what I mean? Mace is, yo, Mace, what's up, gang? Like, you know what I mean?
Inconsistency today, Mace. What up? Usually on deck.
I thought I thought the jaw was one of the second on this play. Listen, man. Another underwhelming project. If I always come to the Griselda projects, because even though I'm super knowledgeable, I realize that it's not quite my lane, right?
Right,
So I always say to myself, especially with like this, because this is like Stove is like Mock, right? Like he's not
right.
from that first generation, first generation of
Mm,
the overground underground. You could even call Ransom and 38 Special that because you heard them from back in the day. But so Stove, I'm still not quite sold on Stove. Y'all love Stove, you know what I'm saying? Especially you,
yes.
Jaw. And I trust what Job likes in music, we usually in the same line of thinking. You know what I mean? And Job loves Stove. But I know I wasn't there for Reasonable Drought in real time. So the way y'all heard it, the flow y'all got, I heard it later. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not, I'm still waiting for the hot summer, bro. This album is underwhelming. This album, it feels like a mixtape. You know what I mean? It feels like there wasn't knowing how. So one thing about Stove God is he's like Pusha T, right? He's very detail oriented. The music, the ad libs, the production. You know what I mean? The artwork. He's one of those types. So honestly, this didn't sound like an album that he put a lot of, care into. It sounded like it might have just been some side B joints that he had sitting
Allegations.
around. It don't even sound like it was they was something he particularly produced or made for a new project. It sounded like something he just gathered. You know what I mean? Or I got some joints that I made for this album, or this won't make the album. Let me put some shit together. Okay, here we go. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound, even the joints that I like Baseline Hove. I like that more because I just like Baseline Hove. You know what I'm saying? I like the
Right.
reference. I like the sample. I like the way the beat sounds. You know what I mean? He rapping the way, a nigga who grew up when I grew up with rap. You know what I mean? So I don't know whether I like that because it's like kind of pandering to my taste or whether I really like the music. You know what I'm saying? So I know Stove could do way better than this. If I was a person who never heard Stove before and I heard this, I wouldn't be impressed, to be honest with you. I think he
Right.
can do way better. So with all due respect, I'm still waiting on the actual project. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to Stove. I know this was a $25 project, right? He ran up the streams crazy on here.
Salute.
You know what I mean? So salute to him. You know what I mean? An independent artist getting his bread. Shouts to him. But as far as the quality of the music, I'm not digging it, bro.
Oh, stop calling me. I'm cooking. My question to Stove God with this project would be, what are you making? Because this cook up right here, streams or not, that block work ain't hitting how it's supposed to hit. I don't know. I don't know if the fiends or the new cussies is gonna come back around for another hit. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like this was a tricky play. Now, on the business side of it, $25 for what amounts to 6 tracks. I'm not here to knock the hustle, but if you're gonna come out and this is your first front to back Stove release since you signed a Griselda, was this the right decision? Because like now you kind of like take a little bit of the luster off of your Griselda debut. To me, like whatever you dropped first should have been the Griselda debut because now you done fed the people. You fed them a project that was kind of mid. I'm gonna get to that point immediately. Kind of mid. They spent 25 for it. You run the risk of people not trusting you now. There might even be some bad feelings. You know what I mean? Because to me, like the first thing that stood out to me was, all right, $25, cool, whatever. In the inflation era, $25 is not what it used to be. $25 probably more like 12. You know what I mean? But then you put a skit on here. You don't even rap after the skit. It's just a skit. You at that point, then you got to give us at least 10 tracks, gang. If you're giving me a full skit,
Full skit.
then I need that. You know what I mean? Leroy agreed in the chat saying he was a better rapper when he was Aaron Cooks, possibly. But Stove is. I would say this as far as the overground scene is concerned. Stove is a household name. I'm. I don't think he's the most anticipated anymore. I think that this project, because you think about how it was received, the streets ain't love this project. The streets liked Summertime Butch. The streets loved Mother and Gun. They love it.
Mm-hmm.
This came out in that same window, and they ain't love it. In fact, and I hate to use this phrase, but I got to use it for this one because that's what happened. It came and it went. Niggas are still talking about 38's project. People are still saying 38 is an album of the year discussions. The Common and Pete Rock is still in people's conversations. I'm still talking about the Benny project. I'm in Benny comments on Instagram telling him, yo, I need videos for this record and that record. You know what I'm saying? This project right here, I felt like he shot himself in the foot. I think he cheddar-bombed himself with this one. This was not the right. If you're gonna come out and feed the streets with a surprise EP, no rollout, it needed to be dynamic. In fact, it needed to be like cutting room floor of your Griselda debut. It needed to like are we is this did West Side Gun have a say in these records? Is this Stove Lucy's from his previous life? That he just needed to put something out there. I really feel like he stunted the anticipation. Whereas we see Rome Streets, even if we know Rome in real life, we've still been fair when it comes to Rome Streets and where he's at as an artist. Rome has played this game right as far as getting to Griselda and putting out projects, and whether he stayed on the same level or he's tried to push the envelope with new sounds while still giving you the bars, he did right, in my opinion. This right here from Stove, I think, like to Deanie's point, he created a level of trepidation that has to be like, is this project gonna hit? Is the project gonna hit? Now I do remember like earlier in the year, there was some clips, like I think Stove and West Side were out in the Caribbean working on music. Now it's like, is that for West project? Are we gonna get another situation where Stove is helping to carry a West Side project, but his shit is not hitting? Because I'm gonna be disappointed when that West Side album dropped and Stove was on there dropping 30 as a second option. But when he was the first option, he was giving niggas 15 on 5 or 24 shooting. You know what I mean? That's a problem.
Hoop references.
Now, yeah, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Earl of Pearl fire. You know what it is with this project? I feel like it started off with like off the rip, like, oh, it's Stove, Earl of Pearl. Let's go. And then with each track, it just continued to descend. You know, Chapo Phone was decent, but the best song on the project was the first song, and then after that, there's a mixed bag, B. So I'm really concerned. Like, if this is what it is, you better have like the most derringery, conductory, fucking go get Craven, go get Harry Fraud. I need this, because I still think he has it in him. I need this to be the most dynamic overground project because he is a dynamic personality within the space, and we deserve a project that fits his motif, to use a Deanieism. You know, I'm good. I that's all I gotta say on Stove.
We need better Stove.
That's facts, man.
We know you got it, man.
Disappointed.
We need better Stove.
Disappointed.
We need a better cook up on that stove, Mr. God Cooks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
But we're gonna end this live off right here. We kind of cut into the football a little bit. Some you know what I mean? And we understand that we was trying to get out of here at 8:20 flat, but we had to talk about these projects. Shout out to everybody who locked in with us for this live. If you haven't by now, hit that like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe on the way out. Keep us in the algorithm. Keep locking in with us. We will be back tomorrow. We got another interview dropping with Dama Dozen. Freestyle interview on the way. Homies from Crown Heights, Brooklyn. A spitter. A great story. Got some industry experience as well. So look out for that to drop at lunchtime tomorrow. And Deanie the Balance, take us home, man.
Yo, shout out to the chat. Hit the like button, family. If you see yourself a part of the culture, get yourself one of these, a beacon of the culture, the Rap Roundtable. You dig? Roundtablemerch.com. Lock in with the culture. Macito, voice of the industry. Javi, the point guard of all point guards. Sincere, we love and miss you, my brother. I'm Deanie, the Balance of the Force. And with our powers combined this Thursday Night Raw, we out of here. You dig? Boom!
Yes, sir.
Be easy, yeah.
Peace.